So being a follower of Issac Carlson of Wotso videos, one thing I've noticed that he's never talked about, that I've talked about a few times here, and I'm going to talk about it here once more, is basically about the rescue rangers. Now, I'm sure he's touched upon them and everything, but the one thing that I've always felt that, he should talk about, and to me, it's very obvious, based on, if you watch the animated cartoon and all that, it's very obvious that from the animation standpoint, it seemed that, Disney wanted to go the Dale and Gadget route as far as romance is concerned, because the question always, always fans had was, who would Gadget end up with? Who was Gadget destined to be with? Even though they teased a couple of times at the end of several episodes that, Chip might end up with Tammy, or Dale might end up with Foxglove, and those are good scenarios. Or Gadget might end up with Sparky or somebody else entirely, and those are good scenarios and speculations, and and teases to have. But to me, when I look at the show overall, I look at the show, and I'm basically like, yeah. They were planning to do Dale and Gadget. They were. I mean, it's just so, if not too obvious, not to notice that they were planning to do that. Because you look at Carpet Snaggers, you look at Categories Not Included, you look at Double O Chipmunk is a good example. All these. And, Dale Beside Himself, Song of the Nightingale, RoboCat, you name it. There's so many examples and moments, in the series that pretty much, to me, hints and teases at the fact that they wanted to go the Dale and Gadget route. They just never had the chance to do it. I mean, there's even moments in there that if you look, at, what happens, kind of is Disney's way of, teasing the fact that they were leaning towards that direction, possibly. I mean, for example, in A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, when Gadget fixes or modifies the morphosizer device of Nimnos to help change Harry back to normal, basically after she does that, you get a little bit of like an aftershock, like a little bit of a short circuit, after she's done fixing it. And what happens? Gadget jumps right into the arms of Dale. Like, you could say, oh, she could have jumped to the side to Monterey, or she could have jumped over the thing and onto Chip, right? But no, she literally, after she fixes the device, modifies it to help restore Harry, what does she do? Boom, little short circuit, jumps into Dale's arms. I mean, you can't tell me that, they weren't teasing something there, because they were. Again, just, like I've said before, just so many moments in teases in that series that it's hard to deny. It's hard to deny it. It really is. I mean, you take a look at Fake Me to Your Leader. Who does Dale switch bodies with? Gadget. Now, I know it was done for comedic purposes, but come on, they could have had Chip change with Gadget and you'd still get the same effect. Or what else did you have? You had that. You had her take Dale with her, and went to dress up as Raggedy Ann and Andy to try to distract the baby at the time in Dirty Rotten Diapers. Again, the list just goes on and on. You had her basically being like, let's say that episode that they did, with that fish captain where he had the submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or whatever. What did you have there? You had them sitting next to each other or lying back next to each other on the beanbag and acting all nonchalant. And it's like, come on. Seriously, what are you trying to hide there? You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, there's just too many hints, too many moments, in the cartoon, not to deny the fact that this was probably something they were planning. And again, I stick by the fact that had the movie, the original plans for the original animated film that was supposed to be theatrical and everything, had gone through without no interruptions, no bombing of movies previously or whatever, had it originally gone through, I think honestly, and this is the truth, I think honestly, the movie is where we would have had confirmation. I think the movie is where Gadget would have ended up with Dale. I think we would have gotten the answer there, and I think the answer would have been Gadget and Dale, or Gadget choosing Dale, and we would probably have gotten a logical explanation. But when one thinks about it, we've never. But when one, I would say when one thinks about it, but when one considers it, we never got that answer. We never got that answer. I mean, the Boom Studio comics, when they tried to continue that, they tried to basically, finalize the fact that Dale was with Foxglove. There was no doubt about that, and I understand that. If you're not going to give us an answer otherwise, then the best solution is to, go with the ending that you got in Good Times, Bad Times, and say, hey, this is who Dale's with now, and that's it. And you leave the door open for Chip and Gadget to be an item. I understand that. But again, I think that was a comic and a story written by a fan of the show that pretty much supported the idea of Dale and Foxglove and Chip and Gadget. But if we take that out of the equation, mind you, if we take that out of the equation, then we look at the and we look at the animated series itself and potentially the movie that would have been based off it, then I think we would have got our answer. I think we would have got our answer because again, you take a look at the animated series and there's just too much evidence there. There's just too much evidence there to ignore, if you know what I mean. So, to me, I think it's just something that, just something that I'm hoping, and if he's watching, I'm hoping Issac Carlson, Wotso Videos, looks into. Because if you really want something, because Issac, if you're watching, if you want somebody to really, watch your videos, these Disney videos and stuff that you do, talk about this subject, give your thoughts on it, and I guarantee you, people will give you answers, comments, their own theories and speculations, more so than you can ever imagine. But in my opinion, again, I think, in short, there's just too much evidence, from the animation standpoint, if you will, not to say otherwise, that they were planning to put Dale and Gadget together. I just think it's too obvious. But what do you guys think? Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video. Check me out at BW Roses on Patreon, BW Roses on Venmo, BW Roses discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. So let's check me out on Venmo and check me out at my Teespring store down below as well. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. And Issac Carlson, I hope you watch this as well and take this topic into consideration. Strong consideration. Talk to you guys later.